And hello, movie lovers. It's good to see you. Well, you can't see me yet, but I can see you. But anyways, it's good to be able to do this little movie news that came out about Jon Bernthal returning in Daredevil Born Again. I actually have my good friend Jeson Johnson with me, and we're going to be talking about this. We also have some Star Wars news, and without further ado, let's go on ahead. Let's do this. It's good to have him here. And hey, man, how are you?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing really good, man. It's good to have you back on here. Rossie introduced me to you, and I just feel like we hit it off really well whenever we had the Last of Us review. And then, I also listened to the episode that you and Rossie did, and that was actually one of my favorite episodes that she's done.
Wow.
So,
oh my God, pressure.
But anyways, it's good to have you on here. And like I said, we're going to be talking about Jon Bernthal returning as Daredevil for the not Daredevil, but as the Punisher for Daredevil Born Again. And my first initial thoughts is this. Okay, I'm excited about the fact that we have Jon Bernthal coming back. But on the other hand, I've seen what they did with Francis D'Onofrio's character, which is Kingpin. I saw what they did with that with Hawkeye. And I'm like, is it going to be watered down to the point where we don't have the Punisher like I knew him in Netflix? I know this is going to be a different version of him. But am I supposed to be? I want to be excited because I'm a huge Punisher fan. I love Jon Bernthal. But if they're going to water it down, I don't know if I'm going to be that excited.
That's actually a pretty good. Okay, well, speaking of watered down, have you seen She-Hulk at all?
Yeah, I'm seeing.
So what did you think of the episode with Daredevil?
I thought it was good. I thought it actually worked.
Yeah.
Now, everything with She-Hulk for me worked whenever it was revolving around her character.
Yeah.
But as far as the subplots and stuff like that, no. I did not like any of the subplot stuff. All the stuff with her worked for me.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just looking at that episode and like specifically, I actually liked the way Daredevil moved in this one. Like he was like leaping, he was doing. I was like, okay, because a lot of people were like, "Where's the acrobatic Daredevil?" And I'm like, "Well, there you go." Like,
right.
It definitely works. And I'm just like, He didn't seem watered down to me. He seemed about as brutal as usual. There was just no blood.
Right. And I think that depending on how you handle this, because Netflix went all out.
Yeah.
With this, I still remember when they said, "Oh, Daredevil's going to be in the MCU," and then all of a sudden you see Kingpin smashing somebody's head in the door. I'm like, he does not belong in the MCU.
Right.
I'm like, no, this is on a whole new level, and I would love to see them go full on out with this because of the fact that they need to be, because these characters belong in an R-rated kind of scenario here.
Yes. Well, has there been an R-rated show yet?
No, nothing for Disney Plus. But there has been. Now, the only thing that is rated R is within Netflix.
Yeah, because I remember they did. But so now I'm curious because I haven't seen the Netflix, like the Disney Plus versions of like Daredevil. I wonder if it's changed or not.
That's the thing, because that's what I'm going off of, is the narrative of what happened in Hawkeye, where you actually see Francis D'Onofrio's character of Kingpin.
Yeah.
And Kingpin's very different in the Disney version.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that it has to do with the multiverse thing, and then they just transferred him over into that universe, and that's why he's different. So, but it just pulls me out a little bit because it makes him look like he's indestructible whenever you had that whole entire battle going on in Hawkeye, and there's nothing, they're not doing anything to him. He gets hit by a limo and he just
gets up. I'm like, that I'd be under the limo. I couldn't.
Right. It just doesn't make sense to me, like, for that part. And that's what makes me kind of worried, because of the fact that with these characters, they don't belong in a PG-13 environment. They belong in an R-rated one. And depends on how they do it, I might be sold on it, but at the same time, these characters are very well built to where they're rated R.
Yeah. Honestly, I am excited for Jon to come back.
Me too.
But me personally, I'm more want to see if if the Trinity is coming back from Netflix. It was Daredevil, and then what was his friend's name?
Foggy.
And
Right. Now, okay, so here's the thing. They're not coming back. They were rumored to actually try to come back and
Okay.
everything, but Foggy's not coming back, and neither is the girl that played on True Blood, which also played in this series. Karen Page is not coming back,
Ah, man.
which
Okay.
sucks.
That does, because I was looking forward to seeing. I was like, yay, we got this. Dang.
Because here's the thing, in Daredevil Born Again, it does play the narrative around Foggy, and it does play the narrative around those characters.
Right.
Because in the comic book, in the graphic novel that I read, that this is actually a 1989 comic of Daredevil Born Again, those characters are actually in the comics. So it makes me wonder, okay, well, what are they pulling from the pages when they call it Daredevil Born Again? Because this is not exactly Daredevil Born Again. This is just basically them probably putting some fingerprints on the stuff that happened within the comics, but it's not actually the Daredevil that I knew from Daredevil Born Again in the graphic novel.
Right. Oof. I guess we'll have to see what happens. I got the strangest feeling it's gonna be like a buddy cop vigilante thing just because it's these two. And I hope
Well,
it's not.
at first, though, I don't know if you remember the Netflix version of The Punisher and everything.
Loosely. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Well, they never really got along up until like the last couple of until like the last season or something. Well, and the Punisher TV series or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just me going off the cuff of not remembering much from it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I thought the chemistry between the two of them actually worked.
Oh yeah, no, it worked. No, the clashing of ideology, those were great. Like those moments where it was just them and they were just like, well, this is why I don't hurt people. This is why I hurt. Like hearing them from both two different standpoints, I'm curious, would Daredevil feel the same after going through something that the Punishers went through? Like, would he still have that same moral high ground? Because he has lost people in his life too, but not in the way,
in the capacity of what Frank has lost his loved ones. But I think that you need to have Karen in there. I do think you need to have Foggy in there, because without that dynamic, he doesn't have any friends. He's just a loner.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. And I was like, well, you know what? I was wondering why they didn't mention it in She-Hulk, why Foggy wasn't there.
Right.
But then I said this to myself. I'm like, well, you do know that show takes place in Los Angeles. It does not take place in Hell's Kitchen. So there is a possibility of hope that Foggy could be in this. And so is Karen. But then once you find out, oh, okay, my bad, they're not going to be in this show at all now. And it just sucks.
That does. Man.
But yeah. But I just wish that they would actually go with I wish that this is what I wish that Kevin Feige and them would do. Forget you know how they have Marvel Studios, right?
Yes.
What about making a Marvel Night Studio?
Ooh.
For all your rated R characters. And basically what you would have is, number one, you would actually have your Daredevil, your Ghost Rider, the Punisher. You would also have a couple of other people in this R-rated world, even Deadpool, all in one R-rated universe, even Jessica Jones and Luke Cage.
Honestly, that'd be great.
So you can have that R-rated flavor, and then just make it part of your mature content on Disney. So I think that's the best way.
Yeah, no, I feel like that would be the greatest way, because there's okay, Moon Knight was close. They really pushed the PG-13 rating on that one.
Definitely. Even though I love Moon Knight, here's the thing. I wish that you would have known me last year with Moon Knight, because I'm a huge I'm into Egyptian mythology and stuff.
Ooh.
So I went all out editing episodes all last year.
You knew all the okay.
So I was actually going in through how everything connects, going into Egyptian mythology and things like that. So I was like geeking out with this show, and I really had a good time with it. But yeah, it was actually the closest thing that you could actually find to an R-rated TV series in a sense with Disney Plus. That was as close as they would push the boundaries. Because you have to remember, they have to also appease the younger audiences too. So therefore, they can't do anything like show blood. You can't show like Kingpin smashing somebody's head And yeah. But that's one thing I wish they would do is keep. I don't mind them being in it, but keep the characters on the same wavelength,
right?
And everything, and don't change them up to where they're just watered down, where they're just basically indestructible, getting hit by cars and stuff like that, and it just takes me out of it.
I feel like it can work. We definitely have to wait and see on this, but I feel like it can work. Because I forget
Right.
when did they start shooting for this one?
I think they start. I wouldn't be surprised if they start like in the summertime.
Oh, okay. So we probably got like a year or two before it actually drops.
Okay, they're actually starting next month.
Oh,
I believe. Okay. So, but then, I didn't really care for some of the other stuff with Marvel that they've been dropping
okay.
either. Like, for instance, you have, Thor: Love and Thunder. You also have Ant-Man that just came out, and they're wondering why there's a drop.
Yeah.
And I even mentioned this in my short. I'm like, it's bad when a bear is on cocaine and you're talking about cocaine beer, when you should be talking about Ant-Man for the next 2 or 3 weeks because of the fact that you have that rewatchability of going back into the theater to watch it again. Once I watched Ant-Man, I'm like, I don't have no rewatchability. I have no reason to go back. There was nothing that I really missed. There was not really any Easter eggs for me to say, oh, I missed something. I need to go back.
Oof.
So the rewatch value for me is very low.
Yeah. Okay. Oof. Yeah. I have a whole tangent about it. Oh, let me see. Okay. How can I say this? I'll make this as short as possible. Ant-Man felt like a Star Wars movie.
I'm okay with that.
And I was sitting there like, why? I'm like, why am I getting Star Wars vibes from a Marvel movie? And I was like, okay. And then one of my friends mentioned that Jonathan Majors, Kang the Conqueror, was like the Darth Vader of the quantum realm. And after seeing it like 2 to 3 times, I'm like, I can actually see that. Like I was like, okay. But I'm just like, to me, he feels misplaced as a villain here.
And I know that he was introduced into Loki season 1.
Yeah.
And he did fantastic in that. But I was like, well, they should have went on ahead and made him a part of the bigger universe.
Yeah.
To lead up to that point.
Yeah.
Of Ant-Man Quantum Mania. Not only that, but the director also wanted this Avenger type movie. So that's why we actually got that kind of feel for it. But it also lands flat for it at the same time.
I feel like one of the things that mainly hit me, my bad not to cut you off. One of the things that mainly hit me, I think, was the ending. Like everything up until that point, once they left and Scott, like they did the voiceover thing. And he's like, yeah, guys, I think we're good. I was like, I kind of didn't want them to go back to that, looking at how it ended. Like I kind of wanted him to be like getting prepared just in case he came back, like leaving the argument between him and Cassie. I thought he was going to do more for the community now that this happened. And I was like, oh, so we're just going to
that's one of the things.
Not going to pay off any of the setups that we set up throughout the film. And him and Cassie didn't really have a real moment. And I was like, why would you guys set all this up in the first half and don't pay off at all throughout the rest of the film?
No, and all the characters remained the same. None of them had character arcs. It was very one-dimensional. It felt flat. It fell flat for me because of that. And like you said, even whenever the very beginning, when we got introduced into Scott's world in the beginning, and then they do the same shot in this one, and the very end of it, questioning, oh, is he really? Did I really jeopardize everything? Or did I not jeopardize everything? Of course, we already know as an audience that we already know that he's jeopardized everything.
Yeah.
But you need to have a way of actually making your character arcs be shunned through your sequel, for your third sequel, to make some type of sense for that character to grow.
Yeah.
And I feel like
there was no growth. An arc was Kang. Kang was the only person who actually had an arc throughout the entire film.
Right. His plot motivation, I understood his plot motivation. I understood why he was there, why he wanted to get off the planet, off the multiverse. I understood all that. The only thing I didn't like, as far as the motivation it goes, he hires Scott to downsize the thing for him to actually go off that planet. I'm like, wait, you're King the Conqueror. Why are you getting Scott to steal something for you?
Yeah.
When you could be doing this yourself, basically.
Yeah.
And then you also have another thing that I didn't like was, you know, the other motivation was blackmailing Scott for Cassie and stuff like that. But I thought it would. Here's the thing: I thought it would have been Scott, and the way that we actually received it off the trailer was he wanted more time with his daughter.
Yeah.
We didn't get none of that because it would have been like him making a deal with the devil.
Right.
And then you just revealed that, oh my God, he's the big bad guy. And what would have been even more, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't mention this on my spoiler review, was Kang kicks him out of the multiverse, kicks Michelle Pfeiffer's character out, kicks the other character out, and out of the multiverse, and keeps Cassie for himself.
That would have been crazy.
And then now you have a motivation to unite some of the Avengers to come in and try to take over. But while that's going on, it's kind of like Mario Brothers in a sense, where, oh, the princess is in another castle. Well, basically, you have to fight other kings to get to his daughter.
Okay. Ooh. I actually like that. Yeah, wow, that would have made way more sense.
But no, they fumbled on every single thing, no character growth, like you said, other than Kang. And Jonathan Majors is fantastic.
Oh, no, he did a great job. He did a great job. Wow, now thinking about that, I'm curious. Like, it would have been so interesting if, like, he actually got what he wanted and trapped Scott in like an infinite loop of him just spending time with younger Cassie, not realizing that it's a loop.
Either
that would have
been
interesting.
Or he's stuck in the multiverse, reliving that one same scene that we saw in the very beginning over and over again. Thinking he's out of the multiverse, but he's not out of it.
See, that would have been great if they brought that back, because then it would have been like, oh, he's not really there. That would have been, oh my God. Why?
This is what happens whenever when I think too deep with sci-fi films and stuff like that.
Totally understand.
But yeah, and it did feel like a Star Wars film, and I was fine with that up until they made the world that I was visiting a little too fake. They could have done practical effects mixed in with CGI. It was oversaturated with CGI.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like it worked. Like it looked fine, but some of it was just like, that looks like a green screen.
But yeah, so let's go on ahead. Let's get on with some Star Wars news too.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, so as everybody knows, it's not no big secret that the Marvel's in a big, huge misstep, right? When it comes, because we're not the only ones that feels like this, because of the fact that we're supposed to feel excited for a Marvel movie, and then we're let down.
Yeah.
So my point is that I'm getting to is everybody knows that Kevin Feige was supposed to come out with his own Star Wars movie, and there's a little bit of shakeup over at Disney.
Yeah.
And that's not happening anymore. So I'm thinking the reason why they're not doing the Kevin Feige Star Wars movie is because Kevin is trying to get his stuff organized for Star Wars. Not Star Wars, but for Marvel. Because everything is up in flames right now because nothing is really hitting like it's supposed to be. So I'm thinking that it's going to take him a longer time to be able to get everything back to where it once was. So therefore, it's like, hey, Kevin, look, man, I hate to do this to you, but, we're going to have to cancel your Star Wars film because none of the Marvel stuff is actually, it's making money, but it's not hitting the way we needed to hit. And even the Blade movie that we announced is also now in development in hell as well. So, so I'm thinking that pulling Kevin away from Star Wars to make him focus back on Marvel. And then maybe later on in the future, it's like, hey, Kevin, remember that Star Wars movie that you wanted to do? Yeah, well, we're going to let you do that.
Wow.
Now.
That seems kind of unfair to him, especially if he already had like a lot of time put into the Star Wars movie and it just gets.
Well, the good news is he wasn't in production for this. So that's another thing. Nothing was in pre-production. Nothing was going or anything like that. As a matter of fact, nothing was said up until this point that they were going to cancel that one and the Patty Jenkins movie as well.
Oof.
So
Like
yeah.
everything.
Well, at that point, when she was going to do Rogue Squadron, she was tied to
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah.
So basically, what winds up happening is this Star Wars tells them, Kathleen Kennedy tells her, look, you can go on ahead, do your Wonder Woman 3 movie, and still work on Rogue Squadron. And also, too, at first she thought that Patty Jenkins thought that she would have to leave, and also too, Kathleen Kennedy at that time thought she might have to leave to do Wonder Woman 3. But
Right.
then they gave her basically she said, hey, look, Patty, look, you can do both. You can work on Wonder Woman 3, but at the same time, you can go ahead and work on Star Wars Rogue Squadron. So now that she's no longer attached to Wonder Woman 3, you know, she doesn't have no directing at all, as far as no job right now. I don't think. I haven't looked up her IMDb.
Wow. Hmm.
But it's like, okay, well, I don't have Wonder Woman 3, but I still have Star Wars. Now it's like, okay, well, guess what? I'm sorry, Patty, but we're going to have to pull you away from Rogue Squadron.
Oh my Jesus. Wow. So not only Wonder Woman 3, but never. Oh my God.
But that's how I'm speculating on how it came
That's a lot.
like that. Right, because in 2019 of September, if you remember, Kevin Feige actually announced that there was going to be a Star Wars movie.
I heard about it, but I didn't really
Yeah.
see anything come from
And
that.
then that's exactly right, because you know why? In 2022, Michael Waldron was actually going to be attached to do it, and he also wrote the screenplay for Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. And then, of course, he started. That's whenever they started working on the Star Wars screenplay with Feige. And then Feige basically said, I'm enjoying having the freedom on that to do something that's not necessarily a sequel or anything.
Right.
And that's what he said. So it's not exactly a sequel. It's actually its own thing, which was something that he was actually excited about. And then, of course, 5 months later, Feige winds up hiring Waldron to write the script for 2026 is Avengers Secret Wars, the Endgame style. So, yeah.
Oof. Man. I'm actually curious. So have you watched The Mandalorian, right?
I haven't watched this season yet.
Honestly, me either. I haven't started it yet, but
I'll be honest with. Oh, go on ahead. You go.
Oh.
You go on ahead. You were going to ask me something.
Well, yeah. I would be curious to see what would Jon Favreau and what's the other guy's name? What is it, like Tim something? I would actually want to see them helm a Star Wars film because they're doing so well with the Mandalorian show.
I would too, to be honest with you. I would like to see more Star Wars movies versus TV shows, but I also like the fact.
Interesting. Elaborate on that one.
What's that?
You would see more. You want to see more films rather than TV shows.
Well, here's the thing. I love the TV shows because of the fact that you could expand on the universe and stuff like that. So I'm fine with that. I love the fact that you can make this big, huge universe on a TV show. It actually works. But Star Wars has always been one of those things that people come together in the summertime, even though that we actually had the other Star Wars films in December. But it was always about this coming together, and it actually felt like, an event that you would actually go to.
That is
to celebrate Star Wars, just like how we have Star Wars Celebration. And I feel like they need to go on ahead and make some Star Wars movies because of the fact that you can actually make your bread and butter off of that. Off of this, you're making your bread and butter off of subscribers.
Yeah.
And stuff. So you're not hitting it exactly where you want to, but you're doing all right in a sense.
Ooh, I have another question for you. So I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a Star Wars movie in the near future. What exactly would you want to see from a Star Wars movie?
I want them to just get away from the Skywalkers.
Oh yeah, no, completely. Just
I want them to get away from that. I would like to see a Knights of the Republic.
Ooh, that would be great.
That's what I would like to see. I would like to see maybe someone going rogue, someone in the agency somewhere around that area and stuff like that in an apocalyptic kind of world. But also, too, I would like to also see it doesn't have to be Darth Maul, because I've always said it. I would like to see a Darth Maul TV series being told in the eyes of Darth Maul.
That'd be interesting.
but I wouldn't mind seeing that in an original character where you're actually seeing a different side of it, because we're always seeing to this perspective of the Jedi, but
Yeah.
we never seen in the perspective in the eyes of the dark side either. Yeah, we've seen it looking in through the lenses of a Jedi and the way the Jedi looks at him, like off to the side a little bit, but you don't actually see it in their perspective on how they view things in a sense.
That is true. Actually, I would be curious to see like maybe like a Darth Bane movie would be kind of cool too.
That would be cool.
To see like his origin and how he yeah, that'd be great. And that would actually be interesting if the next trilogy was from the Sith's perspective. Like that would actually be really cool.
That's something that I've been wanting. I've been wanting something different, and I think that's the way to go. But that's just me looking at it. But as far as Star Wars goes itself, is like I don't know. There was just something after I watched Obi-Wan where I like checked myself out of Star Wars a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know about I don't know if you felt that way or not.
Well, after watching Obi-Wan, I was just like, they probably need to take a break. Probably need to take a break from Star Wars for a minute, just to
And
kind
that's
of
how I
get
felt.
back to a good standing. So I was like, Obi-Wan, for what it's worth, it was a good show, but it could have been great. Like it had the potential to be great, and
Like
that's why.
Pedro Pascal said in Wonder Woman 84. It was good, but it could be better.
That is yes, 100%.
But I just felt like I needed a breather, and I was like, "You didn't watch Boba Fett? No, didn't watch Book of Boba Fett. Did you watch Andor? No, didn't watch Andor.
I've heard good things about Andor.
Me too. I want to watch it. It's just that it doesn't have anything to do with the pacing. It doesn't have to do anything with that. It's just like with Obi-Wan, I was watching Obi-Wan and I was also watching Miss Marvel because they were overlapping at that time. And I'm like, and at that point, I was just fatigued a little bit of Star Wars. And I don't want to be, but it's like, I need to take a break. And if I can, if I want to watch Andor, I'll come back to it. I know where it's at. It's always going to be on Disney Plus. If I want to watch Book of Boba Fett, I will go in and check it out on my own terms. But I just cannot do it. And then I also asked some people saying, "Are you going to do an Andor after show?" I said, "No. There's plenty of YouTube channels, plenty of podcasts that are going to cover it. I don't need to cover it."
Oh, come on! You got to do
it. I make my own rules, but still.
Said I'm not doing Andor. That's it.
But I don't know. I just fatigued of that a little bit. I don't know if like with Marvel, it's like as well as like, am I getting fatigued of Marvel because it's like it used to be this event that we would get excited for.
Yeah, I was kind of getting fatigued a little bit. There were like, was it last year or the year before? There was just so many Marvel movies, and I was like,
the TV shows alone.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it was all the TV shows that came out last year.
Yeah,
they kind of dropped like right after another, and I was like, all right, that's a lot. Oh look, there's a movie coming out. Oh, that's more Marvel.
But yeah, it was like eating at a buffet and not allowing me just to eat a little bit at a time. And then it's like, oh wait, there's more. No, I'm full. I can't do this no more. It's like, come on, you like Marvel. Come on, open up. No, I am full.
One more spoonful, just one more.
Right. And that's what I felt. I felt like that they were spoon feeding us and everything. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like one after another, they kept on dropping everything. Every single time.
Yeah.
And I just didn't really feel like, well, even my brother-in-law was like this though too. He's like, do I need to watch all these shows to understand what's going on? I'm like, unless you have the encyclopedia of me, yeah, you would. But I can give you the rough cut and the unbridged version of what you need.
Nice.
To make it through. So unless you've seen, get somebody inside the theater that have seen all these movies and all these TV shows, you're not going to understand what's going on.
That's one thing that I'm curious about, like moving forward with some of these Marvel movies that are going to start coming out. Like, will you have to watch the shows specifically in order to understand certain events that are about to occur? Because I was like, because I'm not gonna lie, I know a lot of people didn't watch Loki from what I was seeing, and so a lot of people didn't know who Kang was, and I was like, ew.
Like
So
I know, well, even a couple of my coworkers, they didn't know who Kang was
yeah,
either, and I had to explain to him who he was
right.
and where he showed up at Loki. And like, oh, I don't like Loki. I don't like all this fantasy stuff
Oh,
or anything like that. Some of that stuff just takes me out of it. So I'm like, okay, I understand. I understand completely and stuff like that. So, they never watched Loki. And then I had to explain to him. I'm like, okay, I might actually check that out because I like the fact that there's different versions of him. And then each time he learns something different. So I think I'll go on and check it out. So I like the fact that you have people that are willing to check it out
yeah.
despite the differences.
What did you think of the Loki show?
I liked it. I thought it was okay. I didn't mind it at all, to be honest. There might be one episode that I really didn't care for that much, but the rest of it I liked.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. One of the episodes I liked is when he found out about everything that happened to the first Loki, and he's just like in shock. I was like, yeah, no, we were all there,
And
except you.
Right. But even the part where everything he ever said.
Yes. What was it like?
Is that big, huge book that they had of stuff that he said. That was something I liked on the Loki. That
was great.
On the Loki TV series was that. I like the fact that you had two different Lokis as well. And at first I'm like, okay, are they trying to teach him to love himself? Because then as soon as I saw that, they debunked that rumor the next day. I'm like, I said, I don't care about what y'all say. That's what he's doing. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah. It's a funny way of saying that. Love yourself. Yes, in a literal sense.
Right. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I think that they can do a lot more whenever it comes down to getting stuff that they, even with the Eternals. Nobody really liked the Eternals. Did you like it or?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't really care for it, but they had a lot of great scenes, and I'm mad because I feel like, okay, so I feel like Eternal should have been a TV show. I feel like it should have been episodic, and we should have got each person's backstory leading up to like the main movie, because there's so much to unpack with everybody doing separate things, and they always show glimpses, and I'm just like, I kind of want to know more about that person. I kind of want to know how we got here, and it just kind of moves so fast, and I'm like, there's so much information.
Also, too, some people say that it might have actually. Okay, that's always nice. I got a helicopter over my head. And before that, I had the train coming. So,
I guess we have to stop the podcast. They're looking for us.
No, I think Tom Cruise is doing his stunts right now, and he doesn't know which one he wants to do from the next Mission Impossible movie. So I think he's trying out the train again, deciding, oh wait, that's not something I want to do. So I'm gonna go on ahead and hop on the. I'm gonna go on ahead and do the helicopter scene again.
Hey, it's okay. If he lands on the roof, you can say Tom Cruise landed on my house. It'll be great.
Right. So, anyways, I'm sorry about that, everyone. But anyways, back to this though. Everybody said that this moved a little too slow for them as far as the Eternal goes, and I can see it because some of the people are saying, "Well, this is too much of a drama for them." But I liked it. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed that movie. I was like, "You enjoyed it?" I said, "Yeah, I really enjoyed it." But I understand though too where you need to have characters that you don't know about, and maybe turn that into a TV series where you actually have time to develop every character.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that Angelina Jolie wasn't the upfront and center person like we normally are used to. And she kind of took a back seat and allowed these actors to do whatever they need to do.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That was something I really liked.
What was it? Dina? Something like that? Dina? Something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember. And then they even try to introduce Thanos' brother at the very end of it.
Oh, was that who that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was Thanos' brother. And then you also have this big, huge Sentinel now sitting up. Nobody's even talking about that. So I'm like, okay, where's the continuity at whenever it comes down to stuff within the Eternals? Are we not going to talk about that?
As soon as I saw the Celestial, I was like, can we get Galactus now?
Right,
I was like,
because
that would have been great. I was like, technically.
right, because I think that's where they needed to make their continuity stuff
Yeah.
and everything with too, and better off explaining it. I know that they were talking about doing an Eternals too. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But as far as the news goes, as far as the Punisher goes, and things like that, I'm excited about.
I can't wait.
But we also forgot to mention that Taika Waititi was going to do a Star Wars movie.
See, I had never heard of that, and I'm kind of curious on how that would have went.
And here's the thing, Taika Waititi, I love Jojo Rabbit. I thought that was a really good, fun movie.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was an amazing movie. But okay, so Thor: Love and Thunder felt like an SNL skit. Just putting it out there.
I can agree.
And what I would feel like that they would actually do with this Star Wars movie, it was directed and written by Taika Waititi, is I would feel like it was an SNL skit. I think it would actually be another Spaceballs movie featuring Taika Waititi versus it just being a regular Star Wars movie. Now, there's also another thing too. Now, that's not going to happen anymore, but he's going to star in a Star Wars movie. What was your initial thoughts?
I'm curious of what type of character he's going to be in a Star Wars movie, because with Star Wars, you get such a colorful cast of characters. I don't even know what he could be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something comedic, but if it was something serious, I wouldn't mind seeing that either.
That's something I wish that he would do, is like something that's a little serious, because this over-the-top stuff that he did with Thor: Love and Thunder, I'm like, no, this is not something I wanted in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Was a bit much.
Yeah, and I was expecting Zeus to die, and I was expecting Christian Bale's character to go in and kill Zeus at that point in time.
Yes.
Instead, we wind up getting Zeus who wants to have orgies.
Yeah. It was okay for comedic purposes. It was cool, but like the lack of danger there, like because Thor's trying to plead his case, guys. He could kill us, and then like I was expecting him to show up at some point, and then they were all gonna be like, oh well, it's like we kind of need to.
And then Thor winds up killing him with his own lightning bolt.
Yeah.
You know who Thor reminded me of, though? Ever saw Fast Time at Richmond High?
No, I have not. What is that?
Okay, he reminds me of Bagoli. Bagoli is basically this kid that's spaced out on weed all the time. And he doesn't know what he's doing. And that's exactly what I felt like Thor was doing this whole entire time. He's Bagoli.
You know what? Just by the description alone, I can agree.
But yeah, that's how I felt going into that. And I'm like, nah, this is not what I signed up for.
I did see, but with that, I feel like in a Star Wars movie, you can take those comedic liberties a little bit more. Because even if you look at even if you look at some of the original Star Wars movies, there were moments where it was just like, okay, that's hilarious. Like they probably didn't intend for it to be hilarious, but that's pretty funny.
Well, like I said, before we started and everything, I said there was this nice little woman of color taking her kids to go see, or grandkids or whoever, going to see this movie, and then all of a sudden you see Thor's ass, literally Thor's ass. And just, oh my. I'm like, so I just go over to her. I look up, I said, that's the Thor of Thunder. Or something. That ass is, but yeah. I made some kind of joke, but still. But this is actually, let me show you who Bagoli is. Okay, seriously. Tell me if this does not represent.
Oh no, that's actually accurate. I think I see the picture of him with his shirt off. That's actually pretty accurate. Then, yeah, no, that happened. Yep, that's accurate.
But yeah, that's everything I wanted to talk about. What a way
No,
to
I
end the
can't.
show.
You know what? Okay, now it's funny. Now that I've seen that, I want somebody to like do a spoof where it's like it's him in Love and Thunder instead of. Oh, that would be great. Oh, that would be great. Somebody has to do that. That would be
That'd
great.
be awesome. As a matter of fact, I think I saw someone like a Thor: Love and Thunder outfit, and not outfit, but Thor: Love and Thunder T-shirt that had Bigoli on it.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah. But as far as this segment goes and everything, I think that's everything I had wanted to cover. As for that, what a way to actually end it. Ended with Bigoli.
Yeah, that was a good way to. Oh my God.
But anyways, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this show, and thank you, Jeson, for coming in and
No
doing this segment. I do appreciate it, and you're always welcome on the channel. I do appreciate that a lot.
Yep. Hey, anytime you need me, I'll be here.
All right, man. Always until next time, guys. Bye-bye.